Alright, let's not pretend this is anything other than what it is. Welcome to the Chris Bailey Show, a podcast hosted by a guy in Sherwood, Arkansas, who works in a warehouse, does stand up at night, and still somehow thinks he's the one with answers. I've been doing stand up for almost 4 years now, which means I've spent hundreds of nights performing for drunk strangers, birthday parties that didn't know there'd be comedy, and guys in Bass Pro hoodies who want me to fail. And yet here I am, still chasing this nightmare with a smile. I am 11 years sober, which basically means I remember everything. Every awkward bomb, every bad date, every unpaid bar tat I never even ran up. So if you're hoping for a drunken rant, sorry. What you're getting instead is clear-headed disappointment, which is honestly worse. This show will be me once a week, hopefully, talking about things that annoy me, scare me, confuse me, or just make me laugh, which at this point is mostly unhinged people and corporations pretending they care about you. Let's get into it. So before we dive into what's wrong with the world, let me explain who's yelling about it. I'm Chris Bailey. I live in Sherwood, Arkansas, which is basically Little Rock's weirder cousin with fewer gunshots and more vape stores. It's the kind of place where people think AI stands for Arkansas Insurance. I work in a warehouse during the day, lifting boxes of medical supplies for people who will definitely outlive me. And at night, I do comedy. Not specials, not theaters, not bars, or actually bars, breweries, and rooms where the sound guy is also the bartender and the bouncer. I've hosted for Alex Ortiz at the Looney Bin in Little Rock, which is an actual comedy club, not a psych ward, contrary to the name. I've opened for Cody Myers at the Bentonville Brewing Company, but mostly I've told jokes at open mics where the only laughs come from the fry cook dropping a tray of wings. I'm doing this podcast because no one asked me to, which is exactly why I'm doing it. I have thoughts, I have time, and I'm just self-absorbed enough to think maybe, just maybe, someone out there will relate, or at least laugh before unsubscribing. And I also, and also, I needed something to do that doesn't involve staring into my fridge for 30 minutes hoping a steak will appear out of guilt. This podcast is about real stuff, not self-help, not motivation, just honesty and a little bitterness. And hopefully enough jokes to keep you from realizing I recorded it at 2 a.m. in my underwear. Let's talk about frauds. And I don't mean the kind of fraud where your debit card gets stolen and someone in Ohio spends $37 at a Panda Express. I'm talking about the kind of fraud where people build entire personalities around lies and we thank them for it. Social media is a lie machine. Every platform. You scroll through Instagram and see people who just happened to catch a perfect sunset while holding their dog, drinking a matcha latte, writing in their gratuity journal. Meanwhile, I'm trying to convince my bank I didn't order 2 pizzas at 3 a.m. because I'm allergic to happiness. Everybody's faking it. Influencers, brands, politicians, YouTubers with authentic thumbnails. Even your coworker who brings in lunch from home every day. That's not meal prep. That's depression in a Tupperware. Let's start with influencers, the biggest frauds of them all. These people will spend 3 hours setting up camera angles to make it look like they accidentally went viral. Oh, I didn't expect this video to blow up. Yes, you did. You filmed it in a ring light with fake tears and an algorithmic optimize script. I'm not even sure if that's how you say that. Algorithm optimized script, perhaps? I don't know. But what I'm saying is they need to calm down. Calm down. You ever watch a day in the life of an influencer? It's insane. It's insane. They wake up at 5 a.m., drink lemon water, do yoga on a balcony, do cold plunges, meditate, journal, and then start their day. I wake up, I scroll Twitter, curse the sun, and wonder if I can call in dead. And don't get me started on financial influencers. These are people who bought 2 shares of GameStop. And now they're telling you how to build generational wealth. They wear suits they got from Shein and talk about diversifying their portfolios. Bro, you live with 5 roommates and Venmo your rent. Then there's the spiritual frauds. The people who sell you healing crystals for $80 on Etsy and talk about vibrations while fighting with their ex in the comments section. They'll tell you to align your energy. Maybe align your car payments first. Maybe do that. Even comedians do it. We all pretend to be doing better than we are. Just crushed a set at the club. No. You told jokes to 7 people, and one guy heckled you with a vape cloud. But you cropped the picture to look like it was full and posted it with the caption, "Big things coming." Yeah. Like a bounce check from a booker, perhaps. And the funniest part of it all, and the funniest part about this all this, people act like they're being real online now. That's the new brand. Fake I can't speak. Fake authenticity. I don't know why that was so hard to say. But fake authenticity. Like, here's a picture of me crying, unfiltered, vulnerable. But they used 3 ring lights, 4 angles, and soft piano track. And a soft piano track. You're not raw. You're a Hallmark movie at best. There's a whole subculture of fake self-improvement, too. People selling you courses called Unleash Your Inner Alpha. Bro, you drive Uber and still borrow your mom's Netflix. Let's start with unleashing a resume, perhaps. Then there's the financial bros who post screenshots of their Robinhood accounts like it's a trophy wall. I made $400 in passive income today. Cool. I made $8 returning cans so I can still get more dignity than you. Or so I can still have more dignity. I don't know if I'll get more dignity, but I'll have my own dignity than you have more. Let's not forget about the podcast grifters. Yeah, I said it. People who started a podcast just to sell supplements. They're like, hey guys, before I talk to you about aliens and masculinity, let me tell you about this new pre-workout that doubles as a marriage counselor. And you know who else is a fraud? Anyone who says, rise and grind without irony. If you have to tell people you're hustling, you're not hustling. You're trying to make anxiety sound like a business strategy. People do anything to look like they're succeeding, and they'll lie to your face while doing it. Ever talk to someone who makes their job sound way more important than it is? I'm in logistics. Oh, so you deliver DoorDash. Just say that. I was actually in logistics. That's what my job was in the military. Logistics readiness. LRS. Logistics Readiness Squadron. And all it was glorified warehouse work at the end of the day, which required certifications if you were going to be shipping out, explosives, stuff like that. That's about the most serious it ever was on the logistics side of the Air Force, at least in my job, that had the word logistics in it. But even the people who seem harmless, like the ones always posting quotes, if you can dream it, you can do it. Okay, Walt Disney. I dream of not living paycheck to paycheck. Let me know when that quote pays rent. All right? And don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at people for wanting to look successful. I get it. Life's hard. Nobody wants to admit they're struggling. But this mass delusion we're all buying into, it's exhausting. We've built an entire internet culture around pretending we're healthy, pretending we're happy, pretending we care. But behind the scenes, everyone's stressed out, underpaid, and trying not to scream during a Zoom call. So, yeah, everyone's a fraud. From the guy in the Porsche who can't spell entrepreneur to me sitting here recording into this. Well, it was way more than $60 mic, but recording into this microphone that like it's going to change my life. And maybe admitting that is just the most honest thing I'll do today. All right, new segment time. Things I pretend to understand. Because pretending to know what you're talking about is the American way. First off, crypto. I still don't know what a blockchain is. I bought Shiba coin once. It tanked. Then I got invited to a Discord by a guy named Money Mike 69 who told me to hold the line. Spoiler, there was no line. Second, skincare routines. Apparently, I need 5 creams, a toner, a serum, and a balm just to not look like a dehydrated baked potato. Meanwhile, my grandpa washed his face with motor oil and lived to be 93 years old. Third, CrossFit. CrossFitters don't work out. They survive things. Every time I meet a CrossFit person, they're like, today I flipped a tire, then screamed into a bucket. Okay, cool. I took a nap and screamed into the void. Fourth, astrology. Look, if you want to believe Mercury retrograde is why you ghosted me, that's fine. But maybe it's not the planets. Maybe it's your commitment issues and your vape addiction. Fifth, interest rates. All I know is they're high. Higher than Snoop Dogg on a space station, actually. Every time I hear someone say, it's a great time to refinance, I check my bank account and laugh until I cry. Sixth, meditation. Everyone's doing it now. Just quiet your mind. Bro, I've had 7 jobs in 2 years, and I'm pretty sure my oven is haunted. I don't need mindfulness. I need money. 7, NFTs. Remember those? Apparently, I was supposed to spend $3,000 on a digital drawing of a monkey wearing sunglasses. I passed. Now that monkey's worth 75 cents and lives in my download folder. So yeah, I don't get it, but I'll pretend to. I'll pretend that I do because that's how adulthood works. We're all playing along, hoping nobody calls us out on it. All right, that's it. Episode 1 is in the books. If you made it this far, congrats. You now qualify for financial compensation in the form of more episodes. If you liked it, subscribe. If you hated it, still subscribe. Or don't. I'm not your mom. I'm just some guy yelling into a mic at midnight in Central Arkansas. Tell a friend or tell an enemy. Just don't tell your therapist. I can't afford another lawsuit. Next week, we'll talk about AI girlfriends, cults. That almost sounds reasonable, and why Trader Joe's cashiers seem one latte away from snapping. I'm Chris Bailey, sober, over it, dangerously close to investing in essential oils just to feel something. See you next week.